The following podcast contains spoilers and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Greetings from Tromaville. This is Lloyd Kaufman, president of Troma Entertainment and creator of the Toxic Avenger. And, folks, when we're not making those great Troma movies like Tromeo and Juliet and Return to Newcomb High, Volume 1 and Volume 2, the Troma team and I like to kick back and listen to the best podcast in the world, The Showdown, because The Showdown is the most educational, the most emotional, and the most intelligent, and the most entertaining podcast in the entire world.
Welcome to the Showdown Podcast. This is a bonus episode, if you will. I am Corey. I am without Vic and without Brad, but I am sitting here with a former guest. I think he's now the longest, or he's got the most visits to the Showdown. It's Mike Wickliff.
Yay.
Welcome to the show.
Take that, Vibert.
Yeah. So how are you?
I'm good. How about you, man?
I am awesome. It's been a while.
Yeah, you never call, you never write. Only Brad and Vic aren't around. I guess I'll call Mike.
Well, that's how it works in this business, don't you know that?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So today, as I said, Vic and Brad are not with me today. Vic is still in California, doing whatever he does.
Being awesome.
Yeah, well, that's what he thinks. And Brad is on tour as well, too. So, I had to call in reinforcements, and we're doing something a little bit different. Normally, we will do movies that are from the 80s and 90s, even some a little bit of the 2000s. But this one is a little different. This one is one that just came out a couple years ago, and has been getting on the internet has been getting some praise. Wouldn't you say?
It's definitely been getting something.
Yeah. So it's called the Greasy Strangler. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to try to avoid spoilers as much as possible. Even though we put the thing in the tag in the beginning, we do want to encourage you to go out there and check this movie out if you haven't seen it. Currently, I know that it's on Amazon Prime. Free streaming. At least it was when I saw it a couple months ago.
Or you can just do what I did, and, it's the thing I love to say. I love to tell people, I bought a copy.
Yeah. Well, you buy everything.
Not everything, but many things.
Yeah, close to it. So
I must chuck Blu-rays into the empty pit that is my soul.
Yeah.
Someday, maybe it will fill.
Yeah, I like to do that, too. Unfortunately, I'm starting to run out of room, so I have to figure out what the hell I'm going to do. So, but I have
just get rid of the family.
Ooh, good point. I need to try that.
I mean, it works for me.
Yeah. I don't know. It could work. I'll have to look into that. But the Greasy Strangler is a very different movie, if you will. It's directed by Jim Hosking and written by Toby Harvard and Jim Hosking as well, starring Michael St. Michaels and Sky Elibar. And also, we do see a lot of Elizabeth DeRazzo, who, if you're familiar with Eastbound and Down, she played Kenny Powers' girlfriend in season 2 when he was down in Mexico. So if that gives you, it wasn't his girlfriend. It was what was his friend's name?
One of these days, I will get to watching this show.
You've never seen Eastbound and Down?
I've never seen Eastbound and Down.
Oh, you.
But I have seen The Wire.
Okay, is she on The Wire?
And I have seen Deadwood.
Oh, okay.
So I've seen the really, really good HBO shows.
Oh, yeah. Well, this one's up there too.
But I hear Eastbound and Down is really good. I just haven't gotten to it.
Yeah, the first season is great. Second season, when he goes to Mexico, it's all right. You get Don Johnson in there for about half the episodes, and but then when he comes back to the States, it gets better again. But that third season, it seems like they kind of were just like, let's just go ahead and put this out because they want more. So it didn't stack up to
They backed
one.
up the money truck, so
yeah.
I guess we got to make more.
Exactly. But again, she was in that, and like I said, this is a different type of movie. Now, I kind of was thinking about this. I was trying to figure out what is it comparable to, as far as movies that people may have seen.
It's really different, and I think that's kind of part of the point. I mean, I was one of the producers, one of the guys that actually was responsible for getting the movie made is Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
He is a horror movie fanatic. And so he has that company, and I've forgotten the name of the company offhand, but he has a company where he is helping to produce some of the things that he just wants to see.
Yeah.
So they did Greasy Strangler, they did Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, which is really good, but very strange.
Yeah, it's a very strange movie as well, too.
But, you know, if it's going to run first run on Shudder, there's a better than average chance that he at least looked at it.
Yeah. Maybe
Shudder looks like a cool. I need to get Shudder.
I think I may need to send him some ideas. Maybe I can get him to fund it. I don't know. I doubt it.
Just don't start it. Hey Frodo. I'm sure he probably has heard of that.
Yeah, I'll just call him. What's his name? What in that other movie? The other horror movie? Maniac.
Maniac.
Yeah,
he was great in Maniac.
Yeah,
remake.
That was a very good movie too.
And that's one of those movies that's really hard to remake. It's another one of those. It's just a really strange, off the beaten path because a lot of it's first person.
Yeah.
And he did well. I mean, and he's truly menacing. And he's not somebody you would think of as being menacing. Yeah. But anyway, we're going...
Oh, no. It's fine.
Like an episode of Traumatic Cinematic here. Yeah. We're just, hey, I heard in left field already.
Yeah. So yeah, as you said, he did produce the film. And like I said, I was trying to figure out what other movies this might be comparable to. Now, the only thing I could really think of is kind of maybe a Napoleon Dynamite of horror films. And because... with Napoleon Dynamite, it was a comedy, and I think everybody realized that when they watched it, but it was just so odd. It wasn't like your typical comedy film.
It's almost like if John Waters tried to do a David Lynch movie.
Oh, you're talking about Greasy Strangler?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. And so Napoleon was a little bit odd, and kind of, the humor was real dry. This one, when I watched it, I had heard things on a couple of different podcasts and people talking about how they saw it, and so I was like, I'm gonna have to see this. They never delved into it. They never said what it was about. They never said what how weird it was.
You're almost better not, though.
Yeah, I know,
because then you don't go in with any expectations.
No,
and that way it can't disappoint you, and it can't. It can only surprise you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I watched this thinking it was a horror film, and it wasn't until after watching it, after reading stuff, that I realized, yes, it went down the horror line, but they were more towards. It was more of a It was intended to be a comedy.
Murder was a red herring.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
So if you go into that, I don't know. I guess think what you want going into it, but keep that in mind too. The movie starts out very odd. You got a guy who's probably in his late 40s, maybe 50s, and he's making breakfast and making the most god-awful breakfast.
Yeah.
Most disgusting thing. Including a lot of grease into everything.
Everything.
And I'm like, what the... this is disgusting. I don't okay, fine, we'll let this go.
And I like my grease, but...
yeah.
Man, oh man.
That is a lot to deal with.
A lot.
So...
you can't watch this... Do not watch this movie directly after having eaten.
Or while you're eating.
Or while you're eating. Particularly if you're eating something greasy like pizza, even.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah.
You'll regret it.
And it's after he gets done making it, he goes into his dad's room to wake him up. Now, his dad, played by Michael St. Michaels, is probably in his 70s. He looks old. I mean, there's really no way. I mean, I could look it up on IMDb and find out exactly.
He's probably younger than you.
He's yeah. As Brad would say, he probably is younger than me. Just a quick look. He is 73.
Yeah.
And he wakes him up, and it just starts off with, I mean, the son is in his underwear, tighty whities. I can't even remember. Was he wearing a shirt?
Yeah, no.
And this is a guy you do not want to see.
No, he
in
looked
that
like
state.
me, but taller, and no, nobody wants that.
So he walks in his underwear, telling his dad to wake up, and then the two of them begin to badger each other and just dropping F-bombs left and right. It's like, what the hell am I watching?
Well, and the phrase "bullshit artist."
Yeah. That is a phrase that they like to use in this movie a lot.
Well, because they're both kind of compulsive liars.
Yeah, and you don't know that early.
Well, yeah,
but
I mean, the writing's on the wall pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, well, that you learn that in the next scene, which I'll get to in a minute. But they continue to badge each other, call each other bullshit artists, and it's like, what? I don't understand. It's
just mean.
Yeah,
it's mean. I mean, there's not even love there. It's not playfully. Oh, you're a bullshit artist. No, bullshit artist.
Yeah, they're yelling at each other
aggressively.
Yeah. So they gives him the food, and I think he ends up eating it.
Well, he has to. He needs his grease.
Yeah, he needs his grease. You find out early that he really likes grease, and on everything. I mean, you make him some toast, he's throwing grease on it. It's disgusting.
Strawberries, grease.
Yeah, anything. So you find out what the two of them run a tour, a tour.
It's like
program.
A walking tour.
Yeah, it's a walking tour of places that familiar places that happened with disco, famous disco places. And they say, oh, so and so wrote this song while staying in that doorway. And these people are like, oh, okay. And there's like 4 people in the tour group, which amazes me that they even got 4. One of the girls that's in that group, as after everybody leaves because they find out that there's no drinks, they want a drink, and he's like, and the dad ends up yelling at the people, and then ends up mooning them, and they end up.
I have this unfortunate superpower. It's the world's most unfortunate superpower. If I look away from the screen in a movie at any given point, if there is any possibility that there will be man-ass in the movie, when I look up, that's when it'll be. It's not the most pleasant thing in the world, especially. Wow, that was not pleasant.
So I'm guessing you looked away a lot in this movie.
It happened.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to at some point. It's like, no.
Yeah, I didn't need to see that. So fortunately, that doesn't last long. Everybody leaves, and then the girl sticks around. The girl that we mentioned at the beginning, Elizabeth Durazo, she sticks around, and she's, I don't know, infatuated. Maybe she's curious to these two guys, but especially the son. She likes the son. She digs on the son. So,
which, I mean, lid for every pot, I guess.
Yeah. So at this point, there's been a killer going around, and he's been dubbed the Greasy Strangler, going around killing people. So that's why you think, okay, this is a horror film. This is a slasher film, if you will. And we haven't seen anybody killed yet, and the two of them end up going on a couple dates, which infuriates the dad because he's spending less time. The son is spending less time with him, so he gets mad. And at one point, they've got a friend that they talk to. I think his name was his name Pigface or something like that. I believe that's pretty close. Yes. So they're talking and stuff, and one night while the son is out with the girl, she ends up, or no, I'm sorry, when the two of them go out on the date, the dad goes and kills Pigface. Oinker. That's it. And I had told Mike at the beginning I didn't really want to give too much away, and here I am going through.
It's cool.
So
we can tell them beat by beat everything, and it still won't be enough.
Yeah,
it is a movie that you. Yeah, I mean,
so in essence, people start dying, and I don't want to. It's hard for me to tell this without giving too much away. People start dying, and the dad gets mad. The dad gets jealous. the craziest thing that I saw that was that I think is in the movie is the next morning after she and the son have sex, which is a very strange scene in itself. It's not one of those where like, ooh, a sex scene.
It's not sexy time sex.
No, this is downright weird sex. She's in the bathroom while the son. I don't even know where the son was. But he wasn't there.
So he was making breakfast.
He could have been. And she's sitting there on the toilet, and the dad knocks on the door. I don't even think he may not even knocked on the door and just walked in. He's like, and
they don't seem like a knocking family.
Yeah, it's true. So he goes in and he's like, it's not. He said something like, "It's nothing I haven't ever seen before," or something to that effect. And so he starts to brush his teeth. But here's the weird thing: as soon as he walks in the door, stark ass naked, and you see everything.
Well, and it not actually because it's not real.
No, it's not real.
But
yeah, from the movie sense, yes. It is real.
Disturbing.
It's very disturbing. But the funny thing about that scene is she's sitting there trying not to look, and then she finally looks over, and she's impressed.
I mean, I am not someone who has necessarily has hang-ups on looking at somebody's junk. Whatever, it's their junk. Who cares? But that was disturbing.
Yeah, it's like
it was angry.
So this ends up leading. Oh, shoot. We end up with a what do they call it? A love triangle.
Yeah.
Through most of it.
One of the strangest. Yeah.
Yeah. It turns out that the killer likes to. He's got a barrel of grease that he will dunk himself into completely naked, and then walk around and kill whoever he wants to go after.
And the car wash.
The car wash scene, wow, yeah, it's so weird. There's a blind guy.
One of those things you have to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I don't know why I this is probably a bad movie for us to even talk about, just because there's so much that you just like you got to see it. I can't describe it, so this would make it for a bad movie to actually talk about on a podcast. But
we can. I mean, even like I said, even if we described everything,
yeah,
it's still one of those that you're not going to believe us.
Yeah, it's just so strange.
I can almost hear people now going bullshit artist directly at their podcast.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
no, it all happened in the movie.
The dialogue in the movie.
I'm a little scarred.
the dialogue is good. And then it's with the whole bullshit artist, it gets said so many times in this movie. It almost gets to the point where it's said so much that it's ineffective, but then turns around and becomes like funny.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
And if you tried to turn it into a drinking game, you'd be dead.
Oh yeah, you'd be so wasted. Yeah.
I don't think even your normal compatriots can handle that.
No, I don't think so. And so it ends up with a happy ending, no pun intended. But it's such a weird movie.
It is. It is a singularly bizarre movie. It's one of those where you look at it and go, I have no idea how anyone talked anyone into giving someone money for this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that may be.
Having said that, I own a copy.
Yeah. I think that may have been that could have been what lured Elijah Wood to do the project.
Oh, yeah. He definitely likes weird shit.
Yeah, and this definitely fits that demographic.
And good on him. I mean, you
got the money. It's quirky. Yeah, it's not. You may or may not make your money back on it. Honestly, I don't even think it cost him probably that much to make it in the first place.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's going to make his money back at some point, especially with Amazon.
He goes signs autographs at a convention over a weekend, and here you go.
Yeah, there's his money back right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely a movie. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. But one of the things that really stuck out for me was the music. What you heard in the beginning, that's the main music of the film, and it may be the only music. There might be some other stuff in there.
There are a couple songs in there, yeah.
But that music, the music we played at the beginning, that is really what sticks out because you hear it so often. Anytime the Greasy Strangler shows up or prepares to do his killing, that music kicks in. And at first I'm like, okay, this is kind of odd. But then as the movie progresses, you kind of it, for me, I started to like it. I was like, okay, I kind of like this. And it's just, I don't know. I guess maybe I had one of those days where it's just like, okay, I can deal with this quirkiness. You just have to, maybe you have to be in the right mood. But all in all, the music really stands out for me.
No, the music is really interesting, but it's jarring, and it is all over the place. It's almost like yelling bullshit artist, where it's in there so much that it kind of arcs around being weird that it's there so much and into being really cool that it's there all the time.
Yeah. So what were your initial thoughts when you saw it?
Well, I first heard about it because a buddy of mine in Australia was talking about it on his podcast, and I'm like, this is the weirdest sounding movie ever. And Luke likes weird stuff, so I'm like, all right, I've got to. I'm at least intrigued.
Yeah.
And then I saw the trailer, and then I saw the movie. No, that's not true. I actually bought the movie, and then I saw the movie.
Oh, so it was a blind buy.
It was a blind buy because I'm dumb. But it's not one I necessarily regret.
Yeah.
Because even bad movies, and this is a bad movie, but it's a bad movie in a different way.
Yeah. It's one of those so bad it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also bad. I mean, it's being itself, and what itself is bad.
Yeah.
It is a movie for terrible people.
And when we say bad, we don't mean like it's just horrible. It's just one of those independent films that really sticks out.
No, it's well made.
Yeah.
Don't think for a second that the people behind the scenes didn't know what they were doing. They were definitely on top of it.
Yeah. I mean, this is it's very well shot, and
a lot of natural light, which is not forgiving.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially in the bathroom scene. I had to remind you of that.
Thanks.
But yeah, there's a lot of that, and you get and even the scenery, everything else, where they shot, the locations.
They definitely put a lot of effort into it, and it definitely shows through. It's a well-made movie for definitely not a lot of money.
Right.
But they did everything. You can kind of tell they did everything they wanted to do, everything they set out to do. And I doubt they have any regrets.
No, wow, this actually was in the theaters.
Yeah, I never got to. It played here.
Did it
at the one up on the north side?
Okay.
The Keystone
Arts.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was for like a week, and I didn't make it out in time.
They probably saw it and were like, "What the fuck are we showing?"
Yeah.
So like I said, it was in the theaters, and the opening weekend they made $22,500, and their total gross was $43,000.
Now, see, I thought I was supposed to quiz you on that at some point.
Oh no! So you don't get that.
I don't get to do that.
No, you don't get to do that.
So when they're not here, you actually get to be right.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. See how that works?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's gonna be some other things going on too later. That's
it's like you own the equipment or something.
Yeah, I know. It's with them not here. There's gonna be some other thing or something else that typically happens. It doesn't get to happen this time. So F them. I'm trying to look. I was trying to look to see how much they spent on it, and IMDb is horrible and does not show me. So I don't know how much the actual budget was.
It was small.
Yeah, I mean it couldn't have been. I mean it couldn't have been that much. They had to. If they made $43,000, they had to have made their money back.
I doubt that.
At least a little bit, not all of it.
If I had to guess, it probably was $1.5 million.
You think it might be that much?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, if only there was some way we could look that up.
Still doesn't say.
So we're going to say that they spent no money on this.
But their worldwide box office was 65.
65,000.
65,000.
I'd have to say that they probably came close to making their money back.
I wouldn't put money on it. I would bet that their money probably starts at about $500,000. Anywhere between $500,000 to $1.5 million would be my guess.
There we go.
And probably a chunk of that was to pay Janet, because not only is she the only name actor that I'm aware of in the movie. I mean, the other guys, I think Braden reminds me of one of the guys from Tim and Eric, and it seems like he's done something else that I've seen. But the girl who played Janet, being, Eastbound and Down and doing some other higher profile stuff like that, or high-ish profile stuff like that, she probably made some money. Plus, she's naked. And that will usually net you some extra money.
Yeah.
Especially in a movie like this.
Yeah. The internet is horrible, because I can't find it either. So, that little bit failed.
But there's an awful lot of us sitting here talking about...
Rambling,
yeah.
Yeah, so that's always good for podcasts. Oh, you guys just ramble. But anyway, so what we're going to do is... we didn't want, like we said, we didn't want to give a whole lot of details out, but we did want to talk a little bit about it. We are going to take a break right now. We're going to come back. We'll do our commercials as we typically do, but when we come back, we'll let you know what we think and whether or not you should check out this movie, and any more thoughts. So we'll be back right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
It's commercial time. Mike, you are the guest, so you get to go first, and I will not interrupt.
I am at Gray Matter Splat on Twitter, and that's about it.
All right. You can find me on Letterboxd and Twitter at NKOGonzo. You can also check out our other show, that's Vic and I's show, the Miller Times Pod. You can find that on Twitter at Miller Times Pod. That is a show that we do where we look back at some of the TV shows that we watched during the week, and we determine whether or not, we kind of give our opinions. And lately it's been kind of negative. Some of the shows have not been holding up to our expectations. And then there's Vic and Brad. They're not here, but I will still give their info. You can find Vic at MillerKing51 on Twitter. You can also find him on Xbox playing video games at Black and Angry. That's BALAQ and Angry. You can also find Brad at Brad Scott Comedy. You can also check out his website, bradscottcomedy.com, where I believe he's got his tour dates up there and some of the other videos that he's done. And check him out live too. It's at a club near you. If you do, let him know that you're a showdowner, and he will give you a handshake. Maybe something else. I don't know. That's between him and you.
And then you guys are just Showdown Pod on Twitter, right?
Yes, on Twitter we are the Showdown
Pod.
At the Showdown Pod. I always get that mixed up when I'm doing these on Miller Times.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, is the on this one? Do we use the at the Showdown Pod, or is it at the Miller Times Podcast? I can't ever get them straight, but it is the show at the Showdown Pod. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Like us. Click like somebody should, as Brad would say. And also, if you're listening on iTunes or any of the other platforms, be sure to give us a review, because we do like those. And if you do, we'll read them on air. So with that, it's been nice not being interrupted.
You should see the sheer joy on Corey's face right now.
I am.
Not having to, be interrupted by everybody.
Exactly.
So I'm going to interrupt him a lot now, because it's fun. We're friends.
There's no frustration. Because it's like, I know it's coming, but maybe it's not. Maybe he's going to give me some slack, but it ends up never happening. So with that, we're going to get back to the show and let you know what we thought of the movie. Welcome back to the show. It's time to give people our thoughts. What did you think? Mike, do you think this is a movie that people should go and listen to or go and watch?
I think it absolutely is. It is so weird that to be able to say that you experienced it is something special.
Yeah.
I don't know if special means good or special means bad, but it is special.
Mm-hmm.
When we were doing stuff a few minutes ago, I did a quick search and I found an interview with one of the guys that wrote it. And he actually says when he wrote it, he was on a heavy diet of Harold Pinter, William Lustig, Daniel Close, Robert Crumb, and Giallo, and lots of Barry White.
I know who two of those people are.
If you're listening, if you're watching all of that stuff, if you're involved with all of that stuff, you're weird.
Yeah, I know who Harry Crumb is, and I know who Barry White is.
Well, and Daniel Close was like Ghost World, and
okay, yeah.
And Pinter plays are they're their own weird thing.
Yeah, this is a movie that's definitely in its own category. It's while we did say it was a comedy and that there is bits of horror in there as well too. It's not really something for everyone. I think you have to be more so into keeping an open mind about movies and just being like, okay, I'm just going to go with it. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to hold any judgment. Just see what happens. You have to be
open to a new experience.
Yeah, you really do.
And that new experience is Angry Dong and Grease.
Yeah, and if you like obscure movies, if you like just weird movies, because there are, especially on Netflix, there's a lot of movies that are like that. It's just like, just not your mainstream type of movies. This is definitely one of those. So if you're into that, definitely check this movie out.
Yeah, it seems like some of those companies now, because everybody is scrambling for content, people are starting to niche out, and so that one, Netflix, seems to be coming up with a lot of the weird stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of love it. Like I said earlier, I think I'm going to have to get Shudder because that's the one that does all the horror movies.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I've heard of that, and I just haven't been. For me, breaking down and actually paying for yet another service is tough, especially in this economy.
I'm already an Amazon Prime and a Netflix person, so
yeah. I mean, it's like I'm not even paying for the. I mean, yes, I'm paying for those. So I've got that. I've got those. I've got HBO Go, and Hulu is another one too. So it's like, to spend a little bit more, however much it is. Yeah, I know there's a lot of content there and a lot of stuff that I would watch. It's just hard to justify paying out a little bit more, but yeah, definitely.
I mean, there are only so many hours in a day to watch stuff.
Exactly, and when you're trying to produce two different podcasts and edit, and it's like I have enough trouble finding time to watch all the shows that I do for Miller Time, so which I'm a little bit behind right now as it is. So, you got anything else?
Not in particular. I miss doing podcasting. I want to do more of it in the future.
Yeah.
I've got a new job coming up that I'll be out in Atlantic City, and one of the things we'll have is a podcast studio available. So I'm hoping to do some stuff while I'm out there.
Yeah, so we will actually be moving the Showdown podcast to Atlantic City, and we are just going to live in the podcast studio, and
maybe not.
You're not going to know that.
Oh, okay, yeah. I got you.
We'll hide in the rafters when everybody's around.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, we'll just record at night when nobody's there.
Yeah.
So with that, this is going to put a wrap on the show. I do realize it's a bit of a shorter show, but that's fine because hey, at least you get to hear my voice. Yeah, Brad's gonna really hate that line. So on behalf,
but Brad's not here. So.
I know it. Oh, he'll fuck it. He's not gonna listen. Who am I kidding?
I mean, if he's not on the show to listen to himself.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the only time he ever listens is when he's on it. If he's not on it, he won't.
Although
listen.
He might be listening to see if we talk about him, and if so, mission accomplished because we're talking about.
Yeah,
him.
I know he wins in that, but no, I think I know him well enough that he's not gonna listen if he's not on the show. He's not even just to see how I did. So, with that, on behalf of the absentee Vic and Brad, and my guest tonight, Vic. What the?
I'm not Vic. He's taller and darker.
Let's rewind that. My guest tonight, Mike, we want to thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
ULLSHIT. New word. ARTIST. Spells bullshit artist. I say again, bullshit artist. You're a bullshit artist. You're a bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist. Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit
Bullshit
artist.
artist.
Bullshit artist.
You, sir, are a horseshit artist.
I call bullshit on that.
Bullshit artist.
You're officially the world's biggest bullshit and horseshit artist. Are you a bullshit artist?